we know the crisis. We know that in spite of the very successful auto rescue, which has put tens of thousands of people to work in my state and hundreds of thousands in this region, we know the crisis. We know that when PNTR passed the House and Senate 10 years ago, our trade deficit with China was about, in auto parts, was about $1 billion, about $1 billion today. It's 10 times that. We know the crisis and that China's begun placing tariffs on American-made automobiles in response to the International Trade Commission and the Commerce Department doing the right thing. We know the crisis that we face because of the massive direct subsidies for investment in coal and electricity and natural gas and cold-rolled steel. We know there are $18 billion Chinese subsidies in technology development and industrial restructuring. And we know the problems of currency manipulation. Legislation Senator Stabenow and I worked on in the Senate passed the largest bipartisan jobs bill that the United States Senate passed this year. Sandy Levin's leadership in the House in trying to get Speaker Boehner to schedule that is of the utmost importance to begin to level the playing field. But we also know the opportunity, as Scott mentioned, we know the opportunity that we have to begin to turn this around. And that opportunity was encouragement from the President of the United States in his State of the Union address when he introduced the idea of his trade enforcement panel. We've seen, because of steelworker petitions and company petitions, we've seen job growth just in my state alone in oil country tubular steel, in tires, in paper, because of trade enforcement from ITC or the Department of Commerce. We know that aggressive trade enforcement pays off directly in the form of job creation. It's all about jobs, particularly in states like Ohio and Michigan. Yesterday's win at the WTO on China's raw material policies gives the administration additional momentum to take more cases against China. It's good for workers. It's good for our manufacturers. It's especially good for the whole auto supply chain, the component manufacturers that are really the heart and soul of our economic growth. We know that we're pulled out of recession in part because of a resurgence, because of manufacturing and because of resurgent auto industry. We don't want it to just be the auto companies. We want it to be the tier 1 and tier 2 and tier 3 suppliers. That's why it's important to play fair. It's important to stand up to China. When they were admitted into the World Trade Organization, China pledged to play by the rule of law, and they simply haven't. That's why the president's move on the trade enforcement panel is so very, very important to our country.